Well, we're here to second an incredible swim attempt, 55 kilometers, the width of Issyk Kul, which I think has been attempted before. I'm not sure if there have been any successes, certainly not unassisted. And we are the A team that has been put together to come and help our mate out, but we all got some good swimming experience. So we sit and we wait and we hope we get it right for him. So sea swimming and lake swimming, I mean, this lake is big enough to be called a sea. So I would say the biggest difference here is obviously we don't have the tides, and the tides often cause a lot of different currents. Not to say there aren't going to be currents out there in the Issyk Kul. I think the biggest difference is going to be the salinity of the water. Obviously the ocean is very salty. That has a world of problems on your tongue and on the kind of level of chafe that you get, but you also sit a little higher out the water, and that over a long distance makes things, well, you go a bit faster. I don't want to say it makes things easier. Mindset around a swimmer's approach to a distance like this, 55 kilometers. Firstly, disclaimer, I've never done that. I've done 35 and 40 kilometers. So I imagine there's some similarities, but let me talk for someone who's spent a lot of time with Cam and has done a lot of training with him. I've learned a lot from his kind of mindset, and the mindset, obviously you have to really trust in yourself, believe in yourself, and have that kind of mindset, and you have to believe you've done the right training to get across. So those are almost the easy stuff. The difficult stuff is, how do you keep your head in the game when the going gets really tough? So now you are 10 hours into a swim, even though the water's not freezing, you're starting to get chilly, maybe you've chafed a little bit, the wind's picked up, and now you've got some of the chop in your face, and you know you're going slower, and it starts to mess with your mind, and you know you've still got maybe another 15 hours ahead. That is just mind-blowing stuff to get over. How do you stay motivated in that moment? Okay, and that's where Cam is an absolute master, and he will spend a lot of time going into his meditative state before he gets in the water, so that he knows exactly what to do and exactly what to think and where to get his mind when that happens. It's not an if, it's almost a when. The other side of that is obviously your support crew. You know, speaking for myself and for Mark and for Elaine and for yourself, Andrew, is, you know, what we're going to bring to the party is the level of confidence that we're going to help him with when the going gets tough, the kind of encouragement that he needs, not that we think he needs, that we know that he wants and that he responds to. So those are all the kind of things that we're trying to gather before the swim. What's he looking for exactly in different moments of the swim? What does he want from us? Does he want a support swimmer to get in with him, or doesn't he? Is that an irritation, or does it help him? You know, it's different for every swimmer. The type of person Cam is, you know, someone that I gravitate to quite greatly, because he's, you know, I call him probably the most authentic swimmer or distance extremist. What's the right word for it? Extreme adventurer, I suppose, extreme athlete that I've ever met, just because of his calm demeanor and for the reason he does stuff besides his charity, which we can talk about, which is an amazing thing. So he does do it for a charity. However, for himself, it has nothing to do with the publicity. It's nothing to do with Facebook or the social medias, you know, which I personally tap into quite a lot. Cam doesn't care if anybody knows. He doesn't care if it's on Strava or not, which is just mind-blowing to me. But it speaks a lot to the kind of person he is. And you know, since the day I met him, he's impressed me with his goals. They've always been one notch beyond what you think anyone would set as a goal. It's the way he gets the training done. So he goes all in. When it's time to train for it, he will decide where in the world, not just like in his neighborhood, where's the best swimming pool. You'll find where's the best place in the world to go and live to get the training done for this particular swim. You know, in this case, he's been spending a lot of time in Lake Tahoe, because the Issyk Kul Lake, where the challenge is going to take place, is at 1,600 meters above sea level. Now, if you try train at sea level and then come up here and do that, you're going to have another thing coming. So he spent a lot of time in Tahoe training there, which is the equivalent elevation.
Well, I am the observer, and in order to have the swim ratified by really any of the organizations, you have to have somebody that is independent, not a part of the team. I will not be involved in any of the feeds or direct contact with him, but I'll record everything, and then I'll submit that to, in this instance, WOWSA will be the ratifying organization. Because this hasn't really been done here, there is no Lake Issyk Kul Kyrgyz Swim Association.
As with all his swims, it's just impressive to be a part of, see the process, support, watch, and witness it happen. As with any of these pioneering projects that Cam takes on, they're not without their challenges, and just to in the last minutes to have these things kind of potentially, fall to some level of chaos. It can be partially disheartening, but also I'm glad to see Cam look like he's gained motivation to go after it more than ever. Got a very strong mental process, very stoic individual. He lines up his plan of attack, he knows what he wants, and he just knows about how to put things in place to go after and get it. It doesn't look like much will stop him.
Yeah, like there's been just a lot of things happening with this swim. Like I knew that was going to happen because it's the longest swim on this lake by quite a distance, and like we're not from here, and so we're dealing with people in different languages, using different languages and everything. And there's also been visa issues. But like it doesn't matter now. Like everyone's here. We're gonna do this swim, and this is taking a lot of time and planning to get here. I've been wanting to come back here for like the last 16 years, and been planning this swim for 6 years. And like now it's here. We're swimming tomorrow, and even until like today, like we weren't doing the swim, because the main organization that was giving us the boat said we couldn't use it for obviously exceptional circumstances, but everything's kind of come together last minute. We've got a very good boat captain and a very good crew, and it's almost like all these ups and downs have in a way like motivated me more to finish the swim, to do the swim, finish the swim. And it's one of those swims where you have to go that way for like 50-60 kilometers, and you don't know what's going to happen out there. I live in California usually, and Lake Tahoe is perfect, right? It's like right up in the mountains. It's like higher elevation than here. It's fresher water than here. It's beautiful, right? So I'm always motivated to train. And I was there for like almost 3 months. And so I got some really good training in. Like before that, I'd broken a rib in March, and so I was off for 6 weeks. So I really needed a place where I could go and just focus on training and getting myself ready for a 50-60 kilometer swim, and I think I'm ready. It's not perfect, but I think I'm ready, and I'm just kind of looking forward to getting out there, putting one arm in front of the other. And it's funny, I was a few weeks ago, I was a little bit kind of nervous about the swim and my technique I was swimming with, and so I contacted my swimming coach in London. He told me how to swim, and I sent him some videos, and he kind of gave me some really good advice about how I was swimming, and so I've adjusted my technique a little bit, but I can kind of see myself when I start the swim tomorrow, just having his voice in my head about what I'm doing out there, especially on my technical side. And I think that's going to keep my mind occupied quite well. I'm quite lucky to have a guy like my coach Ray Gibbs, and my crew here Ryan, Mark, and Andrew, and now Elaine's here to as the observer, so he definitely brought our A team, and now we just got to go out and execute. With freshwater, you're gonna sink a little more, so you got to focus on your catch, and you got to focus on trying to stay keep your legs up, stay buoyant, because you're gonna sink more in freshwater, and especially as you get tired. And so that's when I actually spoke to my coach. I was like, I don't think I'm swimming that well for freshwater, and he really told me to rotate a little bit more, but also mainly get my catch right. Because if your catch is right, and the stroke, the patient catch, you get your forearm quite vertical before you engage, a lot of power, just keeps your body up. And so that's actually what I've been focusing on for the last 3 weeks. I've just been thinking about that, and not even trying to swim very fast, because as Ray says, efficiency of these long swims is speed. There's so many things that should motivate you, motivate me for a swim like this. My friends have come along all this way to help. There's a lot of people watching, of thought about this swim for like 6 years now, and it's in this beautiful place. I know, like, you know, being successful in a swim like this makes a huge difference to your life, right? As opposed to if you don't make it, especially like the longer your life goes on, you think about that, like how these two different paths diverge if you make it or don't make it, right? It's a huge gulf there. So that's like, it's very motivating. But also, like, I try not to be too attached to it, you know, like anything can happen out there. Like, my main goal, and all I want to do is make it across. But you do realize that there's some things that are out of your control, right? And so I have this kind of mindset, like, if I make it, awesome. If I don't make it, it's not the end of the world too, right? So I think I have to have that, like, very kind of opposing viewpoint of all I want to do is make it, but if I don't, it's still going to be okay, right? And that detachment also, I think, helps keep me, like, kind of relaxed and grounded, you know, before and during the swim. With the, like, obviously with the bunya, like, you know, if you're successful, you're gonna raise more money, you know, and I have, like, it's been hugely motivating for me to have, like, this charity which we've been doing for, like, you know, almost 14 years now. You know, when things don't go your way, you gotta, like, come back and think of creative ways to get around those things, you know, and, like, I mean, this trip's had a lot of setbacks, like, especially with the visas initially for the South Africans, and then with the boats and working with the government here. But every time something happens, you know, you just gotta, like, bounce back from it. And I think that's one of the cool things, you know, the vast majority of people that we've worked with in Kyrgyzstan have been incredibly helpful, you know, gone out of their way to, like, try and make this happen. And yeah, so I feel very privileged to obviously have my crew here, but have, like, the support that we have here in Kyrgyzstan. Even the guys looking after us at our guest house, they're, you know, doing everything that they can to help us, you know, calling the boat people, like, making sure that our new pilot is, like, is the guy, and that he is the guy, you know. Yeah, so quite fortunate in terms of, like, the people that we've worked with here in Kyrgyzstan. You know, it's kind of gives me a warm feeling.
Interesting start, but yeah, all set. Hit it hard, Cam.
Got you, brother.
Feed by feed, brother, feed by feed. Yeah, I've got the time, 5:33. Ready? Watch is on. Strokes a very, very long day. It's already been a long morning since wake up to get to this point. I'd say we're about 12 kilometers in, maybe just a little bit over. It's hard to get the exact GPS because we're in the support boat and we're doing circles and backwards and forwards every now and then, so there's a little bit of estimation. But I think we're over 4 hours now, so that's the right time that it should be. It's still absolutely sublime conditions, as you can see over my shoulder, and we hope it stays like that for as long as possible. In 1 hour's time, Cam has asked me to jump in and swim an hour with him, so I'm quite excited about that. It's so beautiful. I hope it lifts his spirits a little bit and cools me down.
So Kent's a solid fella and he has good friends behind him, you know.
So there's the man. It's starting to get nicely dark, but a beautiful evening. The wind has been quite brisk at the end, but it's not bad at all, and it's kind of side on but slightly in the right direction. And there's land right there. The breaking news is that we are now sub 10 k's to land. got in now. Under 10k to go basically. Night time is upon us. City in the distance. Cameron is surprisingly still talking in the same vibe, same mode since we start. Mellow, articulate. That boy doesn't moan at all.
That's it, bud. Yeah! Woo! Time recorded. Come, красавчик. You did it, bud. You did it.
Cameron, pozdravляю. Oh yes! Hallelujah! Woo! Cam.
Back to online also.
We call it the Pearl of Kyrgyzstan because Kyrgyzstan is a landlocked country, but Issyk Kul Lake, due to its size, its beautiful landscape surrounded by mountains, also attracts not people just of Kyrgyzstan but all over the globe, and we're happy that it attracted Cameron's attention and of his crew, and we're happy that he's here this summer.
The overall experience for me was absolutely incredible. Usually I'm the one in the water doing challenges and a team supporting me. This time, the honor of being the team supporting Cameron taught me some real deep-end lessons as to what actually goes on the other side. It was hard work, and I think I got a first-hand taste of how important the team's role was. I still feel broken. It's like I did the challenge, but incredible to watch. Incredible overall experience for me. Absolutely. I think the team did a great job to troubleshoot and to handle the curveballs that came our way, and to improvise, and just to make sure that Cameron was not aware of anything going on behind the scenes, and just could get the job that he needed to do done. As the temperature of the water sinks in and your body starts adjusting, you probably already feel a little bit tired after the first 1 or 2 Ks. And you then start thinking, I've got this massive distance ahead. We were budgeting on 22, 24 hours. So in the first hour or two, and you're thinking you've still got to do so much, it's a real mind boggle. So despite the scale of this challenge, this was still Cameron's recce swim for the much bigger challenge, doing the length of the Issyk Kul Lake. So the learnings were really, really useful. One, overcoming the language barriers was a massive thing. Also, if there was any expectation in the team's hearts that we all had single roles to fulfill, that was overcome, or that was thwarted quite quickly. So, it was an amazing lake to be out on, so unbelievably massive, and we didn't see one other boat vessel out there for the full 24 odd hours that we were out on that lake. It was just us out there, exceptionally lucky with the weather. Well, I'm elated that this was successful. It's such an honor and such a responsibility put on a small team like ours. Traveled from South Africa to Kyrgyzstan because of the role we fulfill, and because Cam trusts us with the roles we've been asked to play. An unsuccessful swim would have left something deep inside. You're part of it, you feel a sense of responsibility. When Cameron walked out on that beach, I was filming, and I had like a real pang of emotion. The tears came in my eyes, it came up, welled up, and I was trying not to show it. But I was so proud of him. And obviously he's the one who did 20 times the work than any of us did, but we all worked really hard to get him to that point. And I was just elated that our role played the role that it did to help him stand out on that beach, which I really do think it did, and I know Cam recognises that in its droves. But it was a unit that gave me unbelievable insights on the other side of a team. As I said, I'm one in the water, often having people help me. I stand on stages around the world talking about teamwork and the dynamics and what's required. So to be in the deep end on that side of the team, helping a man get across such a difficult swim, 55 kilometers, world first solo unassisted swim across the Issyk Kul, to be part of that is amazing for me.
But yeah, it was a job done, so pretty happy about the outcome. And this is more of a recce. This was a recce swim, but it's a pretty hard recce swim. Yeah, I was thinking like 18 to 24, but like I didn't think I was going to get close to 18. I think like if it wasn't for the finish, we would have done closer to 17. So yeah, that was really, really fast. Like I was not expecting that. Like in Tahoe, I was training, doing like 3 Ks an hour. Out in the water, I was doing like 3.5 to almost to 4. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. And I didn't feel like I was working that much. Actually, I felt like I was swimming slowly, which is kind of a cool feeling. It's probably the adrenaline. You don't want to like push your mind in a certain direction. I don't think you like force an attitude on yourself. It just takes too much energy, right? So you just gotta let your mind do what it wants to do. And you can focus on certain things, like you can focus on your technique, focus on certain feelings. But at the end of the day, your mind's gotta like do what it wants to do. And so I found this pretty much in every swim I've ever done. The first quarter of the swim, your mind's gotta go wherever it wants to go. And it's usually trying to find relief somewhere. Think about something and then be fixated on that, just to let time pass. And not like dwell too much on what you have to do, like swim 50 hours or 20 hours or 18 hours or whatever it is. The second quarter, your mind relaxes and now you're just meditating through it. Now you're just in this like amazing space where you stop thinking and your feet come very, very quickly and time just passes really easily. Third quarter is the same, a little bit harder in terms of you're starting to fatigue a little bit. So you kind of have to focus on your feelings a little bit. That's what I do, like I meditate on my feelings. And especially negative feelings. Like, so the most common feeling you have out there is fear. Whether it's like fear of pain, fear of failure, even fear of success. And so I usually, when I feel like that, and it's just basically your brain like trying to make sense of what you're doing. And so you'll have other feeling, it'll kind of manifest somewhere in my stomach or my chest or my throat. I just really focus on it and say, look, it's just your brain, just like a computer, like generating these feelings inside you. Like, don't have to worry about it too much, but don't try to change those feelings. Just let them be there. And suddenly those feelings go away, let them go. You become like, you go to a higher state each time you do that. So essentially, for the second half of that swim, I'm just meditating on my feelings. Yeah, it's good, because we train together, sometimes, and like there's a little bit of competition when we train together. But out there, which is good, because it makes you swim harder, it makes you swim faster, and try to swim better. And so he really helped me to like get through those points. And then at 10 hours and 15 hours, he joined me again. Towards the end, it was really good having him there. Just your cruise is very important, and especially when you have a lot of respect for your crewmates. Yeah, so there's a lot we've learned. Like we cannot have done the length swim. Like first time around, like this time, it was just too difficult, right? And I think the swim would have collapsed on itself eventually, because it would just be too stressful for like 3 days doing what we were doing for the width. But I think that, with the setup we had and an extra boat and a resupply boat, I think it would be amazing. Big project, we're trying to raise like $60,000 US for this 15 schools to come together and compete. And it's an amazing project, and it's going to be amazing seeing it come to fruition. We still have to raise, $5,000 more. We're pretty much there, and it's going to happen no matter what. So anybody listening, please donate. And I'm super excited to go up there and see the kids competing and the energy there, and see them singing, see the arts, see the debating. But most of all, see the actual netball and soccer events. and seeing those kids, you know, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Well, from all of us, Cam, huge congratulations, man. Well done.